Hey, good evening, everyone. Grant again with Gutter Growth. And today I have Karl and Branden. Is it Branden or Brendan?
Branden.
Branden.
Yes, sir.
Karl is the owner of Truss Products, and Brendan is the operations manager there at the location. Why don't you tell us, Karl, a little bit about your location and just where it is?
I will. Thank you for having us, Grant. Again, my name is Karl Gramling. I'm the owner of Truss Gutter Products. We're based out of Boerne, Texas. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of us or not. We've been around for about 18 years. Been living, drinking, and eating, sleeping gutters. We are a manufacturer, and we have come up with several different product lines over the years. Again, starting back in 2004, 2005, we were able to come up with a product called Snap Lock. And to give you some brief history on that, before that, I was a rep for a manufacturing company and vinyl siding, and I traveled all throughout the Midwest and all the way up into the Northeast, selling vinyl siding accessories. So I got very familiar with vinyl siding, capping fascia, 019 trim coil, anything and everything related to vinyl siding.
Wow. Okay.
That being said, during those periods of time, I would watch these guys that were very skilled come in and be able to cap fascia. Did a phenomenal job, make it look really, really nice, really clean. They were true craftsmen at their profession. And then the gutter guy would come behind them, and they would punch holes all through that 019 trim coil, okay, with the gutters. And it was just something that just was put an idea in my head. And I got in and started really researching gutters and really looking at how gutters were installed, and thought there was a huge problem with regard to expansion and contraction and holes being in the back wall of the gutter. That being said, I took some concepts that were specific to the vinyl siding industry, and I came up with a product called Snap Lock. And basically what it is, it's a gutter attachment system. It's a free-floating system with no holes or screws that penetrate the back wall of the gutter, and it's actually allowed to float.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I came out with that in 2004, and then from there, over the years, in developing Snap Lock, what I found out very, very quickly is there was a lot of, probably at that time, 20 to 30% of the market out there that had slanted or sloped fascia or non-plumb fascia.
Yep.
And when we started running into the non-plumb fascia, while we were doing our R&D on Snap Lock, I started thinking, and I was able to come up with a product called the T-Wedge. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but we probably sell to 250 distributors, and we sell to contractors all over the country. It's a great product for us, and we sell that in a 5, 6 inch and half round, and that was for it's basically an adjustable wedge for slanted or sloped fascia. Anything that's not plumb, which would mean crown molding, 1x2. Just slanted fascia. It covers up to 59 degrees or a 12-12 pitch roof, 5 or 6 inch gutters or half round gutters. It's shaped like a T. There's score lines on it, and you can actually snip it at whatever line you wish to, and it makes it totally adjustable. Again, great product for us. Along the way of moving forward, to be brief, moving forward away from the T-wedge, we were able with Snap Lock to get some market penetration in with a company called Semco, who owned Gutter Helmet, and we got into a partnership with them for about 2.5 years, and we sold Snap Lock. We sold Snap Lock to Gutter Helmet dealers exclusively, and that relationship was a good relationship for a couple of years, and then we broke away from them. And in doing so, I came out with a leaf protection product called Leaf Lock, and it is a nose forward product, very similar to Gutter Helmet, but substantially different in the way it is installed. And that was a nose forward covered product that goes in conjunction, works in conjunction with or without Snap Lock. And then, and that was probably in 2008, 2009. Took that to market. So it's been selling that for probably 12, 13 years. And then here in the last 2.5, 3 years, I came up with another product called Gutter Flash. And basically what it is, it's a flashing specifically designed for gutters. And basically what I've done over this 17, 18, 19 year period is I looked at gutter installations in general, and I said, okay, what is wrong with them? And to me, I thought that gutters should remain free floating was the first thing. Second thing is I needed to come up with something that would make it easier for the installers to install plumb gutters on non-plumb fascia, and came up with a T-wedge product to do that. And then And then I came up with a way to improve the gutter cover, or the nose forward gutter cover that went on top of the gutter. And then last but not least, to me, the biggest problems in all of the gutter industry specific to gutter installation is gutters are not, most of the time, are not flashed properly. So I came up with a product that is specifically designed to flash gutters properly, because roof flashing or drip edge was never designed for gutters. It was designed for roofs. Right. And that's basically the overview of where we're at now.
No, I love that. That's a lot of history that I didn't even know. So thanks for sharing that. I want to ask you a quick question while they're on the topic. Like, so what took you in the direction of vinyl siding, like way back at the beginning? What was there, somebody in the family, or like what drew your attention?
It was just an opportunity that from a friend of a friend that thought I was outgoing and aggressive, and I was in my early 20s or middle 20s at the time. Yeah. I was hungry, and he said, "Man, I think you would be a perfect guy to get out and start repping this product." And I learned a lot about distribution, learned a lot about manufacturing at that time. It was a great, didn't make a bunch of money, but at the time it was a great opportunity for me, and it got me where I am today.
Awesome. Branden, so you're the operations manager over there in Boerne. I still haven't made it over there, but we're basically neighbors, and I've been actually doing business with you and had you out at the other location that I was running back in San Antonio. So thanks for coming back again.
Of course.
Tell us a little bit about what it looks like handling all the operations of all these fabulous products that you guys have to offer. Like, kind of.
Yeah, so I guess I started working at Truss back in 2019. And when I first got there, I wasn't doing any sort of anything like that. Karl originally had me working in the accounting department.
Oh, wow.
And then I kind of moved into an account manager role. And then I kind of went into sales. So he kind of had me over in every facet of the business. And then we had some turnover, and then I learned everything with the inventory and all that type of stuff. So once I saw everything, I was able to kind of look over everything, and now it's been awesome. The T-wedge and leaf lock and snap lock.
You're having fun selling.
Sorry, I'm kind of going off here.
No, it's all right. I said
no.
Seems like you're having fun. I can deal with you like once a week, once every 2 weeks, right? And you're Johnny on the spot, taking my order. It comes within a few days. So like, you obviously have passion about your job, because you do a fabulous job at it, might I add, because I deal with you personally. So,
well, I appreciate that. And and I have to deal with it too with our vendors. So that's kind of where I get it from. We have the relationship with our vendors and the people that look after me. I try to do the same thing with our customers. So that's where we're at with that.
Branden has done a phenomenal job in being able to learn all the different facets of the business, and getting himself to a point now where he can step into any role at any time, even in the back, and which is a critical component when you're running a manufacturing facility. People go down, people get sick, and he's just been able. He's taken a personal interest. He is Johnny on the spot, and I rely on him heavily, and I'm thankful to have him. And he's a huge part of why we're growing and having success.
I can second to that, because I dealt with Branden. I think we met about 3.5 years ago, and we had the meeting out in the ranch.
Yeah, in San Antonio.
Yeah, and we started buying some stuff from you. And since I've moved locations, like obviously I put a lot more into my ordering with you than what we did before. And your customer service has just been fantastic. And I think that being a director of operations myself, like sometimes we can really be the face of the company. And we have to be Johnny on the spot, and we got to make sure that we don't overpromise and underdeliver, right? That's a huge thing. So, and I know that you're fantastic at that. So you've got an amazing component, Karl, at the face of your company. And because of the products that you guys offer that I love, and the service that I get from Branden, I've absolutely, as you know, recommend you to a lot of people that I talk to. I highly recommend that people do business with you guys.
Oh, I do. I get 2 or 3 calls every week from you. Trust me.
We really appreciate that. I will say, through that whole COVID scare and the production chain, the production lines that happened, for us, what we ultimately did that really was one of those things that probably I needed a little push to make happen, was that we committed to significantly more inventory on the floor instead of worrying about so much about our turn cycles. I mean, every 90 days or every 60 days.
Yeah.
And by having more material on the floor, it really streamlined our operation to where we can accommodate growth, and we can get stuff out the door same day or next day, which was a critical component. Because so many times with supply chains, your lead times can change, as y'all very well know, and then nothing worse than for a customer to call and be on a back order. So since COVID, we have drastically reduced our back order situation now, and because we're carrying more inventory, and it's just been really worked really smooth. I've been very happy over the last 12 months of what we've been able to get out the door. And
that's fabulous to hear. I agree. As a customer, I completely agree with what you're saying. So that's fabulous. Tell me a little bit, Karl, about we only have so much time here to put you in front of a lot of our customers potentially, and people that you're already servicing. You already service a lot of people around the country. Tell me a little bit about, with the time that you have, some of the flagship stuff that you have, what's really important for you to tell people about tonight.
Well, a couple different things. We have a couple different product lines, and the product lines, we have two different product lines we sell to everybody. We sell through distribution, and we sell to all the contractors. And then which is the T-wedge product line and the flashing product line. And then we have two other product lines called the Snap Lock Gutter Attachment System and Leaf Lock, which is a gutter cover. And we set up dealerships, and we offer exclusivity or non-exclusivity in markets. And over the years, we've been selling Snap Lock for 18 years now. I don't even know how many thousand homes it's on actually. And what I will tell you is it's a free floating system that by design, my initial design, and by the way, I've got 9 U.S. utility patents on everything I just discussed with you.
Yeah.
But the Snap Lock Gutter Attachment System, we set up territories. We gave people exclusivity or non-exclusivity, and we set up dealerships, and we sell them material specific. Same thing with Leaf Lock. I will tell you from the Snap Lock standpoint, it's been a great product for us. It works in the heaviest of snow loads and the toughest conditions. From Traverse City, Michigan's been a dealer for 19 years, I think.
Wow,
18.
I'm from right there. That's cool. That's a lot of snow.
That's a lot of snow. We've got in Green Bay to all the way up into New Hampshire to several areas where there's brutal weather. The original design has been modified. I don't think it's changed less than 3%, and it holds up. If you install it the way we tell you install it, it free floats. It stays on the house. It's a permanent system. It's been a great product. Okay. Leaf Lock, same thing with regard to the actual concept. Now, the T-wedge and the gutter flashing is more selling it to everybody, selling it through distribution, offering it to everybody. Whether it be selling direct through us or going through distribution. We got some great suppliers out there that sell both of those lines for us now.
I think your distribution strategies are pretty spot on. So hats off to you on that. That's
cool.
And
those, and like with the everything new, unfortunately, whether it be with the installer or whether it be with the distributor, it's a tough road. Nobody likes change, and nobody wants to see it. When we first got the T-wedge out, man, everybody looked at it and told me, oh, it's going to be 15 cents more or whatever. And all of a sudden they put it on a job, and then all of a sudden they started picking it up, and it's just amazing what has happened over 18 years with that product. It's just grown, and
you'll love. Yeah, I agree with you. You'll love this story. I mean, it was before Branden came out. We had our meeting, but I had got my hands on one of those. I mean, several years before. I can't remember how long it was. But I remember the first time I had one, I was like, "Yeah, this is going to be way too much money. This is too strong. This is overkill." But at that time, I wasn't thinking the way that I'm thinking now. It's definitely not overkill. It has a lot of meaning, and we actually want strong. Tired of weak stuff that bends and is flimsy and is just made without passion. So I never think the T-wedge was ever bad, but I was like, this thing's a monster. But as I wanted to create, run, build, operate, own monster companies, I knew the T-wedge is what I needed to use. We use it. exclusively on all of our products. I take a lot of pride in the company that I run, and we wouldn't use anything but the best when it comes to keeping gutters plumb. T-wedge is the only way to go. So that's to me why it stands out. Like it 100% works and without fail. Like I haven't seen a T-wedge ever fail, and you probably no one's ever sent you one that's failed.
Honestly, and the only time it's ever happened is when they over torque with the drill, and they figured out within 2 times, and that's it. And again, with that design hasn't changed in 17, 18 years. And that's one of the biggest things that we were trying to do as a company is to develop products that not only helped the installer, but actually gave value to the homeowner too. Yes. So when you went back and looked at those jobs 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 years down the road, you were proud to walk up on that job and say, hey, you know what, look at that job. That job's 8 years old and it looks good. Yeah. And because you took the extra step, and with a few of the products that we've come out with to help keep that gutter sitting up nice and square and plumb, or to keep it physically attached to the house, or to keep the leaves out, or to keep it properly flashed. And that's what ultimately all boils down to right there. And if you can come out and you can install a quality product, referrals, and you're growing, I mean, what can stop you? The only thing that can stop you is if you all of a sudden you can't put something on the house that the homeowner's going to have and find value in.
I agree. Branden, tell me a little bit, like from your perspective, Karl, is it fair to say that Branden's maybe a little bit more in the day-to-day immediate operations, being the operations manager?
Absolutely.
Branden, tell me about these products, and like, don't tell me, I already know. Tell the people that are going to be watching this, the viewership, like how some of your products stand out. Like what makes you so passionate about being a part of this team?
Well, I think the big thing is market separation, right? A lot of these gutter companies are putting up gutters the same exact way. They're using a lot of the same products, and then it just becomes a price battle. I'm gonna sell it to you for $1 cheaper than that guy is down there. Yep. With our products, it's a lot different. Their quality, and people are able to go up against these other gutter companies and say, well, he might be offering you that, but we offer this, and not everybody offers this in this area, and this is why we're better, and this is why we're a little bit more expensive. Yeah. And not only does it help the homeowner in a way that, like Karl said, this stuff is going to be up on the house for 10, 15, 20 years, but it's also helping the installer in terms of ease of installation, and it's helping them in the money aspect as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like correlate that a little bit with like the industry impact that your products are having. Branden, why don't you go ahead and start, and then Karl, why don't you bring that up from here? Like, how do you feel, Branden, about how your products that you sell have impacted our industry?
Oh, I think they've done great. Like I said, not only innovative, but they're not only helping the industry, but they're also helping the homeowner. So, I mean, being able to the homeowner to be able to not have to worry about this stuff that a lot of other people are going to have to worry about, and also helping the installers. So in that aspect, that's what I would say.
Yeah, and the real tall tale sign for us as manufacturers, and any manufacturer can attest to this. I don't care what they're doing, is warranty claims.
Yes.
Warranty. Okay, if you're having warranty claims and you're having people come back and saying, hey, it didn't work, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and you're having to replace this, I'm telling you that we have very few warranty claims. Do we have bad installs? Sure we do. But are they corrected? Yes, they are. And we do everything we can to keep the homeowner happy. But I will tell you that our warranty claims are next to nothing, because we have good dealers. And again, these concepts are a little bit different than what people are used to doing. And one of our biggest obstacles, and Grant, I think you and I talked about this, a day or two ago, is that it's like everybody else. It's like me, getting people to change. Right? Yeah. Learning something new, learning something a little bit different. And guess what? Taking that step to make that change, to be something, to do something or install something a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. But for that, you get the market separation, you get the extra dollars, and you take price out of the equation. And that was the pitch 18 years ago. And the pitch hasn't changed till today. It's the same. Right. It's the same thing. And I will tell you that our biggest obstacle has been over the last 18 years is people being open to change and then being able to stay with the change. We have set up I don't know how many people that had a lot of success for a short period of time and then just went back to their old ways. And their old ways got them the same average gross sale that they were doing 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's,
Yeah, I
and
was going to ask you that. What do you
that's the
think?
obstacle.
What do you think the biggest challenge is? Because I'm sure with some of the products that you have that are, Truss, right? Owned and operated, except I might not be using the right words, but like the inventions that you have created. And I know you gave the opportunity to some other people, right? To install like the snap lock and things like that.
Mhm.
As somebody, you've had to mentor and coach people, including the rest of your company. What do you think is like the biggest challenge with like feeling safe in market separation, right? Because there's some people, we'll take covers right now for an example, gutter covers. Like everybody's kind of starting, everybody is, that over the past like 10 years now, it's like
Sure.
tons of people are coming out with guards, whether they're good or bad. We don't have to waste our time with that right now. We know
Right.
some things work, some don't, et cetera. That's like, and people talk to me all the time, investors like, man, you've been doing this a quarter century. What works, what doesn't? And I'm like, in what region? On what type of house? With what type of trees? Is there all these different scenarios. What do you find has been the most challenging about, I guess, believing in yourself and creating that market separation so that maybe someone else out there that's got a great idea or just wants to be a part of your product understands that, it's okay to have that feeling and you got to break through that and be okay with market separation and like just do it.
I would say a good business operators that know their numbers, and number one. Number two, it's sales management, understanding how to give a true value-added proposition in the home, whether it be 10, 15, 20 minutes consistently, every single time. Not an assumption, not, hey, I know this guy, I know what he's going to do before I walk in the door. Getting something, people that have created systems, good selling systems with good management behind those selling systems. I don't care what industry they're in, they've done very, 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 very well. And then you say, how do certain companies do so much better than others? And to me, it's, and I know that's a very general statement with regard to sales management, but it's sales management, and it's sales management to be able to offer the proper proposition, because you can get it installed. You will be able to get it properly installed. That's not the issue. It's getting them in a system and on a track, and getting them to stay on that track. And once they do for at least 60 to 90 days, then all of a sudden, man, they're on it for the next 10 or 15 years, and they don't get off of it. But it's hard to have that. You got to open your mind. You got to be receptive to change, and that's the obstacle. And we're all guilty of it. I mean,
of course,
we're all guilty of it.
No, I agree.
So
I love the way you said that. Yeah.
And when I talk to installers, and I've had the luxury of talking to, I don't know how many hundred installers, companies I've talked to in 30 states all over the country for many, many years. I talk to them, and they have this belief that their market's a little bit different, or it's like not in my market. And I have to sit back and say, hey, that might be true a portion of the time, but what I will tell you is it's pretty consistent throughout, related to the installer in general and being open to change. And let me just bring up one example. I get a kick out of people when I talk to them. They'll tell me, they'll say, oh God, he's not going to pay any more money for that. Oh, there's no way. He's not going to spend double for gutter for covers. But multiple companies have proven that in fact they will do that, and they're doing that today. There's a lot of companies out there that are getting double and triple what the average gutter installer is getting for screens. So it's happening now, right? But if you talk to that same installer and you give them a grill guard to put on their truck and say, hey, here's one grill guard that's this price and one grill guard that does this and this and this, how many times does that installer, if he's a hunter or if he likes a nice truck, will step up to that higher grill guard?
Of course.
If you give them the differences, right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't care what hunting. There are certain things that people will spend money. There's a lot of people that care about their home, and they'll spend the extra money if they see the value.
Absolutely. No, that was well put for sure. Branden, any input on that, or?
No, I think he hit it right on the head.
You
Really
hit the nail on the head. That's good. Can we? Oh, go ahead.
You know what the most frustrating thing is about the T-wedge now And believe me, we've had a lot of success, and I'm very excited to talk about it, all of them, because we've had success with all of it. But what's so frustrating to us even now is that we've been in the industry. The industry is so large, right? And we've been in it for 18 years. And we got Branden, tell them this week we had 2 people that have never heard of the T-Wedge. Tell them the story about the people that called in today about the T-Wedge.
Oh no, yeah, I get calls in every day of the week. Hey, I saw your T-Wedge 2 weeks ago. This is the greatest thing ever. And in my mind, because I deal with it every day, I'm thinking, how have they never heard about the T-Wedge? But like you said, Grant, there's probably, 50 to 60% of the market out there that doesn't know about it. So, yeah, I mean, we get those calls every single day, and we like to service them and let them know about it.
Isn't it
And I will
fabulous?
put this out there, Grant. If anybody wants to get 25 pieces of the T-Wedge to try it and feel it and touch it and put it up on a gutter, just so they can see if they like it, we will do that for them. Anybody that wants to order or try the T-Wedge or feel it and touch it, we'll send it to them for no charge to get them to see it and exposed to it, because we have enough confidence that once they use it on one job, they're going to draft. It's going to draft. I'm telling you, for the average installer that walks up on a slanted fascia job, they all scratch their head and they go, "Okay, how am I going to do this?" Right? And they come up with a way, and they always figure it out. But is it the best way? And are the gutters going to stay on the house for 10 years? With the T-Wedge, when they try it, I'm telling you, for the most part, so far, every indicator is telling us they're going to continue to buy it.
Yeah. That's 25 wedges.
Or yeah, whatever, a small sample of wedges, 25.
Yeah.
We put in a bag and ship it to them.
Oh,
and say,
that's
"Hey,
cool. I mean, like,
I might buy it, but I want to use it. I want to put it up on 50 feet of gutter to see if it works or whatever." But hopefully they know that it's been in the market for 18 years and it does work, and we sell a lot of them. We sell a lot of them.
it 100% works. So I'm doing these podcasts for 2 reasons. I have a servant's heart, and if you guys haven't seen much of my work, for other people that have, they know what I'm trying to do. I want to bring the industry up together at the exact same time, and I want to talk to people with products that I'm very passionate about. T-Wedge is one of those things, 100%. He's offering you guys a handful of wedges to try out. I'm going to be disappointed if we don't shut down their phone system with these orders. We're about to give you Branden's cell phone number personally. No, I'm joking.
No, that's fine. Give it to
Reach
them.
out to Truss, anybody who sees this, and get your wedges and try them out. You're definitely not going to go back to what you were using before. You guys have my sign off. Custom gutter guy, T-Wedges, 100% high value stuff. I want to just talk.
Can I interrupt you for one more second? I got a thought here that's
Go ahead.
What you're doing with this podcast, and I'm not just saying this, is that you are being able to bring gutter guys together. And unfortunately, that's been one of the other big obstacles I've had as a manufacturer for the last 18 years, is that the gutter industry doesn't have its own industry. We piggyback off of roofing, off of remodeling, and we don't have, it's not like when you go to a roofing convention, it's all roofs. Right. I mean, it's easy to show up, and then you got a few gutter people in there because it's the gutter quote sometimes is part of the roof, but we don't have our own. And for you to be able to put this together, and some of the things that you are doing, I think are going to be extremely beneficial to the gutter industry, because hopefully it's going to bring the industry together so they can communicate and talk more like other industries do.
I appreciate that. There's a couple different people in the industry that have given me support. It's a little bit of a list, and I'm dealing directly with those people. Everybody knows who they are. I want to shout out the stuff that I'm doing. We have a certain amount of time, and I want to make sure that the people listening or watching understand the high value that they're going to get from doing business with you guys. So, let's take this a different direction. Tell me, well, hey, can we show the viewers what a T-Wedge looks like? If anybody, you guys,
I don't have one on me right now at the moment.
okay, no worries. I'll get something and I'll get it put up.
You go to twedges.com and you can pull it up, or you can go to trussgutterproducts.com and you can pull it up there as well. But the T-Wedge is a registered mark, and you should be able to pull it up on the internet very easily.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Say
it's
that
made
again.
Twedges.com.
T-Wedge.com. And
Twedges.com.
Okay, and what was the other one?
Trussgutterproducts.com.
Trussgutterproducts.com. Tell me about you have a lot of products that are fabulous. So tell me about something other than the T-Wedge.
We've got I don't know how many, I know this is in very select markets. It's very popular in Texas. It's popular in the Southeast. There's some pockets in the Midwest, but it's called a 1x2 or trim board that sits up at the top. And for years it was replacing flashing or drip edge. But now, from what I understand, if you do put up a 1x2, you're still going to end up putting flashing over the 1x2, which is something that, from what I gather, is new in certain areas. Maybe it's in all areas now, but it's what's that trim board or 1x2 at the top. And what ends up happening is a lot of the time that's where the T-wedge comes in, and it works very, very well in that application. Is when you attempt to mount over the top of the 1x2, you've got about 2/3 of your 4.8 inch gutter, back wall of the gutter, that's exposed to the element, and there's nothing supporting it. So over the course of time, it puts an awful lot of stress on that screw now, and it eventually tucks down and cups into the fascia board and opens up the front face of the gutter. We have another product called a 1x2 hanger, and it addresses that issue, whether it be 5 or 6 inch. And it's a standard hanger that it's got a leg that goes down the back wall of the gutter, and it kicks out about 3/4 of an inch, and it supports to the bottom of the gutter, so you don't have to ever worry about your gutters turning in, and you can get turning down, and you can get a good high mount on your shingle line, significantly different and much more cosmetically appealing installation than going under the 1x2. If you want to go under the 1x2, naturally that's always an option, but from a cosmetic standpoint, it looks substantially better mounting on top of the 1x2 just underneath the shingle when you stand back and look at the home. And that's called a 1x2 hanger.
Let me ask you this perfect question, something I'm wondering. I know that the viewers watching, as they go onto your website and check out these products. So tell me a little bit about the difference of the T-wedge comes out and you cut it off, and you could in theory use that similar in the same situation as the product you're talking about. That's more like a J that goes behind the gutter. And I understand the purpose of that. It's already bent, right? It's not gonna
Correct.
I think we're just wasting metal at that point, right? Cutting it off, and you've already got them perfectly set for
1x2.
1x2. There's two different sizes, if I'm not mistaken. Is there a 5 inch?
Yeah, basically we have we have a standard T-wedge that works in all applications, and then we have what we call I believe it's a 4600. Is it 4600 or 43?
We also have a T-wedge that's already cut off for a 1x2 application as well.
That's what I was.
And that's called the 4600. Yes.
Okay. And when are you going to be coming out with these for a 7 inch, or do you not find a need, or do you already have them? I don't think.
That's a great question. When the demand's there, I've never shied away from coming out with a product. I think it's all the more reason with 7 inch. If you ever need it, you would really need it with 7 inch, because there's a lot of weight on that gutter. I laugh because the size of a 7 inch gutter to me is it's just a big gutter. I mean, you could almost lay down in it, but when you're going to have to mount under the 1x2, because there's no way that any hanger and screw is going to support that 7 inch gutter. Unless they're under the 1x2, unless they had that type of hanger. I will tell you that on a 7 inch hanger, 7 inch gutter now, you could use a 6 inch T-wedge and cut it, and you would be able to mount on top of the 1x2. And this will also apply in crown molding. This is also, I want to stress this, because all these guys scratch their head. Nothing's worse than walking up on a job and having crown molding. You go, oh my God, but I will tell you that the T-wedge works on crown molding. So that's you can walk up and you have a solution to put up gutters that are going to sit up nice and plumb on crown molding. But anyway, for now, I would suggest, I would recommend the 6 inch T-wedge.
6 inch on there, but I'll be your first customer, because I have a 7 inch machine. We had one in San Antonio. I have one here. We'll have another one, and we'll eventually have an 8 inch. So you come out with
them. Is that mostly for commercial?
7 inch?
Yeah. Or are you selling?
They're building houses these days. Like you can take it with you when you go. I mean,
really?
I've been a gutter guy for a long time. People more and more are wanting less and less downspouts. I'll do the less and less downspouts for you as you go up 40% increments in volume. So you want to put 7 inch gutter up, and you had this whole pool deck put in your backyard, and you've got, hip roofs dumping onto hip roofs, and you'll let me put a 4x5 on the left and the right and use this 7 inch gutter to channel everywhere. Within reason, I'll do it for you. It's going to work, better than 3x4 and 6 inch. And so barrel tile, my rule of thumb, not to get off topic, is 7 inch gutters. So you ever see brothers that just do gutters in San Antonio or in Austin, I can't speak for the rest of the region because different strokes for different folks. You're absolutely getting 7-inch gutters. I'm not dealing with water shooting over 6-inch. Period.
Okay.
So,
the answer to your
and-
question is 7-inch. Absolutely, we would consider, coming out with a hanger and 7-inch. Of all the jobs, it hasn't come up. We haven't had a whole lot of requests, so that's why we haven't
well,
produced it.
that's what I'm in the business of. Let's get you all of Florida's
Get some
business,
feedback.
all of it. I know all those guys out there, and I'm sure
Awesome.
they get their hands on that thing that you got. You'll be selling 7-inch for days.
Awesome.
Okay. You got one more flagship product besides
Yes.
those?
What I'd probably like to talk about now we have snap lock.
Yes.
Basically it's an aluminum truss that can be either extruded. It's extruded or it's roll form. We have one that's called flex, and then we have one that's extruded that comes in 8 to 10 foot lengths. It has mounting clips that go every 2 feet on the back. And you can use conventional gutter with conventional hangers that meet our criteria, but that are commodity hangers. And basically it slides up underneath the drip edge and it's screwed down. And then you come back with the gutter. You roll out your gutter, you put in your hidden hangers with clip, and then you come back with our mounting clip. You stick them on the back every 2 feet. You take our Malco SLC1 crimper that Malco makes for us. You put 2 good solid crimps in it, take the entire gutter run, snap it in the track. And what it does is it not only does it create a watertight seal, but it's able to expand and contract. I've got a gutters in the house that I'm in right now across the street from me that are buckling. They're brown, they're musket brown gutters, and there's buckling in 3 different spots because it cannot expand and contract. Expansion contraction's real. It happens a lot. Depends on the temperatures as to when you install. But this gutter will actually float within the track. It doesn't float a lot. It's not doesn't slide up and down in the track because the fascia boards are never square. They're never straight. They're going in and out. They're doing all kinds of funky things, but it will snap into the track. And then when it does snap into the track, the metal's relaxed and it is allowed to float left or right, and it ends up staying on the house. I think the largest single run we did was about 125 feet in Pennsylvania, and it was a black gutter on a pig barn, believe it or not.
That's a brilliant idea. So I know a little bit about it. I've seen a couple in real life, and I had an employee that Michael Lessner. I don't know if you know him.
I do not.
He's a Bernie guy, but he loves your products, and he's worked for me over the past couple of years, and he's back out that way. But I was always picking his brain. I'm like, so tell me again, because till you see it, you don't know what it is. It's pretty brilliant, and I have to say it's definitely market separation. And there's room for
just giving the customer the option. We never ask to say just trying to jam anything down anybody's throat, but you say, Mr. and Ms. Jones, this is a conventional install, and this is how we install it, and this is a snap lock install, and these are the 2 differences. This is the price for this one. This is the price for this one. Which one do you want us to put on your home? But you got to give them the presentation. You have to create the value, and if you do, we've got dealers who've been installing it for 15, 16, 18 years, and they install it every single day. And your average gross sale will jump dramatically, which is so critically important that I'd like to hit on in a future podcast if you ever have me back. But your average gross sale is so critical when you're looking at your numbers. And if you can increase anything you can do to increase your average gross sale on the existing business you have now, it's just monumental what it does to your bottom line.
Give me a number. Throw a number out. We won't hold you to it. Give me like an average. Let's talk about it.
Well, the average snap lock job is, if your average gutter job is 1,600, snap lock would be 26, 50%, 60% more. Yeah. And if the presentation's given properly, there's not a whole lot to it, so I don't want to beat it up. But if you truly go in and tell them what's going on, then all of a sudden all these people that are selling gutters for $5 and $4.50 a foot, you're not competing with anymore because they're not offering the same thing, and it's not apples to apples. But you can always fall back to your conventional gutter install. And 100%. If you sell and the other thing is if you sell from the top down, and you offer them this is what we install, and this is why we like to install it, and this is the way we install it, and you give them the presentation, you'd be surprised the amount of success. When we came out with this product 18 years ago, you know what most installers told us? And a lot of them say to this day, there's no way I can get an extra $3 a foot. There's no way I can get an extra $4 a foot. It's impossible. We were all scratching our head too. We were going, man, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Why can't we do this? Well, it was imperative that we had good business operators that were able to give a sales presentation and had good sales management. And that's what allowed us to get out of the box, and for lack of a better word, and start being able to start moving some material. And that's the key component.
I think that it's pretty fascinating. I don't never hid behind the facts, and I'm a coach in the gutter industry that I run a hefty business. I've run a lot of them, and there's still challenges. I did a podcast just 2 or 3 days ago with Kip here in Austin, where we talk about some of our challenges and expansion and contraction. This year with the heat pissed me off. I'll tell you, like I said, we've got nothing to hide.
What are you doing wrong though? What are you doing?
We're letting the guys we're letting the guys hang the gutter in 32 degrees, and then it's 120 in Georgetown in the summer. We know better.
But what are you supposed to do when it's 120 though? I mean, you got all these jobs.
Right. There's a better solution, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, but unfortunately, you're sitting there going, "I've got to get these jobs installed." So you end up having to do what you do. But there are alternatives out there with that. And I mean, I got stories on nursing homes where they had these long runs, 50, 60, or not real long runs, but 60, 70, 80.
No, those are still long runs. We got guys in the industry that don't know how 30-foot gutters are being carried by one guy. Sometimes I'm a little mind blown how they still have a job, but yeah.
I'll never forget the stories of the nursing home saying that it looked like they felt like they were getting shot at because they could hear the pops.
Yeah.
Popping in the deal, all because the gutters needed to expand. And there's so many times, and again, I don't want to I don't want to ramble here, but all I can tell you is that I can't tell you how many jobs I've been on when someone installed a conventional install of a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-foot gutter run. Yep. And I could look on the back wall of that gutter before I ever got down from the ladder, before we ever were able to get the downspouts on it. And I could see the rippling in the back wall of the gutter because of all the tension that's on that metal before they ever got off the ladder. So what I'm saying is expansion and contraction is real, and Snap Lock, I think, is a great product that has worked for many, many years, that would be a great option for installers that are looking for something different, that are open to change.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on the Snap Lock. I know enough about it. I've actually, since I had all my curiosity, I've been able to see it up on a couple houses, and I didn't have any complaints personally. So
the other product we have,
it's definitely worth looking into. I would need more education personally, but I think it serves a valuable. You are correct in saying that our typical gutter situations, screw to homes, need expansion and contraction. And it seems to me like you have a proper solution for it without me 100% co-signing it. I would have to install it myself. Right.
100%.
So just because you're on here, I'm not going to say, go get the T-Wedge. I love that thing. And I want to know more about the other scenario, and we'll spend some time figuring that out so we can help you promote it. The gutter
because you've got to believe in it too. That's the key. That's the other key element, is that anything that we believe in, we've got to make sure our customers believe in it too, because if they don't believe in it, then it doesn't mean anything. So
right. But no, that's pretty cool that you were able to find that niche right there. And like I said, I believe you've created a solution for it. I think that's pretty cool. I always like to have a critical thinking moment, and I want to mention to all the listeners exactly what he was talking about with the expansion and contraction. And this is just a kind of a random thought that came in my head. And I like to set myself apart. I think all of you guys that are using impact drills have no clue how much you're tightening those gutters to the houses. Because I do a lot of training. I've trained a lot of guys, and I listen to a lot. I watch. I recommend you owners out there, when you get your new guys, get them. I like to train the right way first. Get them to use a chuck drill and put that thing on a certain 16 or 17, so they stop burying the screws until they're about to snap. The gutter,
critically important.
Yeah, not only you're a fabulous system that gives it some strategic, well thought out movement. These gutter systems are made, which is why the hangers are usually a little loose in the gutters, to be able to have a little bit of expansion and contraction. So I just wanted to have a teaching moment there outside. I'm sorry to divert, but like
No,
stop letting
no,
your guys use impact drills and just tighten screws like all the dang way. Tired of
but
it.
what's crazy, and especially when you get up in the and I guess there's 100 different territories specific to this, but honest to goodness, like this year you're talking about in Georgetown and here in Bernie and in San Antonio and some other areas, and is it literally there would be a the temperature changes are as much as 50 degrees, 45
Wow.
degrees.
It's wild.
You know what I mean? You go, what? How does that, what does that do for metal? And again, expansion contraction isn't happening with gutters. It happens with standing steam roofs.
Yeah.
And they have a free floating standing seam roof, and they have the screw down roofs, and you can see the ripples you can just drive down and see the ripples in the standing seam roofs. This isn't something that I came up with. This is something that's going
Very
on
true.
everywhere, right?
Very
You know what
true.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's
No,
not-
you
it's
brought
not
it to
just
the
the gutters.
industry. Is there anybody else? I hate to, I'm an upfront asker. I told you I wouldn't put you on the spot or anything crazy. Is there any like competition in that space of what you're doing with the snap lock?
What do you mean? It all depends upon the market.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, has anybody got something similar to yours? You don't have to mention them, but like, I don't think so.
No, there is nobody.
Yeah.
The hanger and screw and it's again it's
That's your
we have
baby for sure.
yeah it's in it and it's simple. I'm sold. I'm sold on the whole concept, and the most important thing that I want the installers to understand is that everybody has doubt when they see something new. Is it going to hold? Is it going to work? This isn't something that needs to be proven. This is something that's been proven for 18 years. It's stuff that's been installed in some of the coldest climates out there, and it works. And I don't have warranty claims. Branden, you tell me, do we have warranty claims? Okay,
Rarely ever.
Yeah, I haven't heard
we have
anything bad.
maybe
about
2
it.
jobs a year, and we can't really put a finger on exactly what happened. But you know what? We send up the material and we move along. But so if it's installed the way we say it is, I'm telling you, it's one of those deals that works.
Awesome.
It works. So and the customer truly is getting value because
I think they're getting value.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you on that. I wouldn't have had you on here, plain and simple, if I didn't think that you had like value just like hovering around your business. I'm not interested in promoting or doing business with people that have like, if it's a restaurant, like one good plate, like the majority of the food has to be excellent, or I don't want to talk to the chef. You have a really good aura around your business. It's well thought out. And Branden, coming to you again, back to you. I do business with you personally. Talk to me about commodities that you have.
So we sell all the commodities. I mean, we have all the hangers, outlets, screws. We have all the sorts of different types of screens and that type of stuff. We ship that to all 50 states.
Mm-hmm. How much
Anything
is
over
shipping?
$150. Any order over $150 is free shipping, right to your door.
They get it right
And
to your door.
and most of the time, if you order before 1 o'clock, it goes out the same exact day.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that now for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years now, Karl.
Yep.
And everybody seems to love it. The customer service that we hear has always been good. The quality of the parts, we don't have any complaints on that.
Yep.
So it's going good for us.
You guys sell just give me a couple of lists of the commodities again real quick. Like, so you said hangers, is that what you said?
Yeah, so we have a few different types of hangers. We got speed screw, we got just traditional hangers. We got that 5, 6, and 7-inch. We got all the different types of outlets. We got screws, we got miters,
when you say
inside,
screws,
outside miters.
what kind of screws are you selling?
We got zip screws, we got 2-inch screws, 1.5 screws, 1.5 screws with washer, all that different type of stuff, stainless screws.
Okay.
We got all the different types of miters
So you're selling
and all
strip
that good
miters,
stuff.
correct?
We got strip miters, bay miters, and box miters.
So they sell box miters for you guys that are still purchasing box miters. Some of the people I coach out in Alabama, Mississippi, Virginia, they like box miters. They like what they like. So are you guys welcoming new business?
Of course.
Yeah. Like how much more
all the time.
business? How much more business would you like to do? Let's be realistic. How much more business would you like to do next year from this year in the commodities realm? What do you think is a realistic number? 10%? 20, 30?
Well, I mean, from last year to this year, Karl, we probably doubled it, right? So
yeah, I would say, I would probably say, at least 25% would be great.
Yeah.
25% would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I think this podcast should help you get in front of the whole entire rest of the gutter industry that you're not in front of. And I'd be honored to do another one with you guys and talk a little bit more about some of the other products that you have. Tell me a little bit, just let's wrap this up. Tell me just a little bit about the direction of the company. What do you see, like, just for the customer? Like, and I'm curious, genuinely curious, like, what does my business look like with the Truss? Is it Truss Incorporated?
It's Truss Gutter Products
Truss Gutter Products. What does my
Incorporated.
relationship look like with you guys in 10 years from now?
What is your, say it to me one more time? I
Yeah,
apologize.
like what can my relationship, like, is Truss still going to be around in 10 years selling me the stuff that I buy?
Absolutely. We've actually, I was at the same location out of Boerne for 15 years, and I outgrew the space, and I built a brand new facility on the other side of town, and it's about 5 times the size of my old facility, and we're in a position now where we can sustain some substantial growth. I've reinvested in a significant amount of equipment and infrastructure. We got 5 loading docks where we are in a situation now where we could quadruple in size and be able to sustain it through the facility that I committed to build. And I think that we definitely plan to be here in 10 years, and I just hope I'm around in 10 years.
Yeah.
But no, we're planning to be here, and we've proved that by committing to the facility and the equipment and everything else for future growth. And we're excited. I mean, we think the gutter industry is going to, the industry in general is going to continue to grow, and we need some people that are really, that would just open up a little bit to some change, and I think they'll drastically see a better quality install, and I think that they'll be able to make a little bit more money on the job if they're open to do something a little different than what they're doing now. And in doing so, it's going to really separate them from what a lot of the other people are doing. And unfortunately, there's a large majority of the people out there are doing almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, I agree. What I want to just state while we were in our closing here, just talk about Truss as a whole a little bit. Branden, what do you see? Just because I take a personal interest with you, I take a personal interest with everyone that I choose to do business with. I don't want to expound on my purchasing habits, but you know what I buy from you. It's the exact same thing every time. And it's not for lack of you not having other products. I have pretty tremendous purchase power in different locations, and you've made a commitment to me and have taken fabulous care of me. And I think we're going to continue to do more and more business as I continue to explore some of the products you have. What do you see your role being over the next 10 years in the company, and how are you going to be able to better serve me and, I would say, my friends in the community that I'm getting ready to just pour onto you?
My role in Truss?
What's that?
My role in Truss?
Yeah.
Well, I think I got a little while to go before I go any higher. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
So I'm still learning right now, but for the foreseeable future, we're gonna try to keep on keeping on what we're doing, just giving good customer service to our current customers. Like Karl said, we're still keeping up with the inventory to make sure nobody's ever in a backorder situation. And I think that's our main goals right now, just to continue with what we have going, make sure everybody's still getting serviced and welcoming new people on board as well.
Okay.
Well, let me expand on that, Grant. I think that,
Yeah, go ahead.
from my perspective, I've been in business for a long time and been around. But Branden said he's got nothing but room for growth, and he's done nothing but show it. And I think he's going to be a huge part of that growth moving forward. And without him, it's gonna move a little slower, I can promise you. So I'm hoping that he stays with us, and I'm gonna do everything I can to keep him happy, and we're gonna hopefully try to limit our, like everybody else, we have our issues with employees and turnover, and we're gonna do our best to minimize that. But people like him, I'm definitely gonna hope and plan to keep. So
That's fabulous. That was a really good compliment. As you can tell, Branden, I think the world of doing business with you. Karl, I think that I'm just super intrigued by some of these parts you've created or distribute. Period. I'm really happy that you came into the industry because the things that you've put forth have helped propel my career personally, and I thank you for that. The T-Wedge has played a significant role in me offering value to my customers. I mean that because with the servant's heart, I do a lot of sales coaching, and I don't actually coach them how to close. I coach them on how to educate. I coach them on how to build real trust. Like, you're going to shop next to this person probably at HEB or whatever store, Myers, Kmart, Kroger, and stand behind them in line while you sold them something that could bend in half. And those are not your products by any means. And I appreciate you doing that for us.
I really appreciate you letting us come on and share our story. And we've got the one story I do want to share in the future, if we're invited back, would be to talk about the flashing and what's wrong with flashing in the industry today, and then the solution that I think I've come up for flashing that I think is probably the number one reason why gutters fail is flashing and not gutters not being properly flashed. So at some point, I'd like to.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back and have that conversation. That's a great conversation. I know your product, and again, I just appreciate both of you guys personally and professionally for what you do for the business that I run. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me that you answer the phone every time personally, Branden and Karl. I'm happy that we got to have another conversation and that you guys graced me with your presence on today's episode of Gutter Growth with the Pros. Thank you guys. Awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Grant. Appreciate
it. Man. Thank you.
Yep. You guys feel good about that?